Hi everybody, it's Stephanie from My Wine Tribe, and today we're here to talk about ordering wine in restaurants, which can be really intimidating. I totally get it. So I'm going to give you 4 tips, and hopefully that will help increase your confidence so that you can roll into the restaurant and be the badass ordering the wine without blinking an eye. So here's 4 things that you need to know. 1, what are you eating and what are your friends eating? It's helpful. You don't have to have wine pairings by food, but it is a nice rule of thumb. So if you're eating red meat or something heavy like a lamb tagine or something along those lines, and your friends are all in that sort of heavy food category, then go with a red. But if everybody's eating like flaky white fish and salads, go with a white. It's tricky though when everybody's eating something different. And in that instance, what I would advise you is there are a handful of wines that kind of go with everything. So some example of white wines that go with everything are Vino Verde or Gruner Veltliner or Bone Dry Riesling. Those guys are totally reliable. On the red side, I always like a Chianti or Sangiovese from Italy, or a Pinot Noir, or even a Grenache from Spain. Because again, those reds are pretty light in terms of red, so they pair well with everything. The second tip is to consider the type of cuisine you're eating and then pair it with wines from that region. So if you're eating Italian food, then I would go with an Italian wine. The third tip is to consider price point, and price point's tricky because depending on where you are, you can have a massive list with some crazy wine prices. And you should know that wine markups are pretty bold. Secondly, most restaurants take the largest markups on the lower priced bottles. I would not get the least expensive. I would not even get the second least expensive. I'd get the third least expensive. So for example, say you've got a wine list with bottles ranging from 20 to 60. I wouldn't get the $20 bottle. I wouldn't get the $25 bottle. I'd get the $30 bottle because that's typically the nice crossroads of value for money. Another thing to consider also is getting wines from places that are a little less obvious. So Burns Steakhouse in Florida has a 187-page wine menu, which is super intimidating. But we printed off a couple pages just to check it out. And what's interesting is on the first page of their Cab Sauves, you notice that their bottles range from $105 to roughly $870. That's kind of expensive, so I probably wouldn't get any of those bottles. But I do know that Argentina makes great Malbec, and Malbec is lovely with steak. So I'd go to the Argentine section of the 187-page menu and look at that. Their bottles range from $30 to $510. So I'd roll in around $70 with an Argentine Malbec if I was in Burns Steakhouse. The fourth tip is just to ask. If you're in a fancy restaurant that's employing a sommelier, that som's job is to help you find wines you're going to love. But your job is to be able to arm them with some information. So when you call the som over, have a sense of what your party's eating. If it's a wide variety of chicken, fish, steak, whatever, tell the som that. Ask for a crowd pleaser that goes with everything and give the som your price range. Whatever it is, even if you're at Burns Steakhouse, you can say, my price range is 30 to 50. And that som will be able to find a wine that you like. If you're at a more casual place, what I typically do is I'll narrow it down to like 2 or 3 options, and then I'll just ask the wait staff because they've tried all of these wines. And again, they want you to be happy. So there is no shame in your game if you ask for help. That's probably the easiest and most important tip of all of these. So hopefully with those 4 tips, that will help you be confident, enjoy your wine, and have a great restaurant experience. Cheers.